first page? No. I got it. So they're going to have to go back to the planning board. It's not referenced in there. Yeah, give me that update on them, okay? Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Paterson Board of Adjustment meeting. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. The notice requirement of the Open Public Meeting Law has been satisfied with respect to this meeting. Paterson. Posted in City Hall and mailed to at least 2 newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the law. Madam Secretary, could you please, the roll, please?
Commissioners, Commissioner Rohim is absent. Commissioner Barat,
Present.
Commissioner Vega,
Present.
and Chairman Thaxton.
Present.
We have 7 commissioners in attendance. The agenda is as follows. The Board of Adjustment is meeting Tuesday, November 30th, 20, Box 7001, Lot 19. This is an application to convert an existing auto repair into a retail space which is not permitted in the R2 zone. The applicant proposes to construct on a 7,500 square foot lot, or 75 by 100, to accommodate a supermarket on the first floor with office space and storage on the second floor. The applicant proposes a rear yard of 4.6 feet, whereas 20 feet is required. The applicant proposes building coverage at 58 Passaic County Planning Board review in an R2 zone, which is low-medium density residential. Is the applicant present?
Applicant's present and ready, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any?
Please. Thank you.
Okay,
Proceed, Mr. Chairman.
yes.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Alan Maricondo. My office is located at 726 Market Street, Paterson. On behalf of the applicant before you this evening, first of all, we'd like to thank you for hearing us on a special meeting basis this evening. What we have presenting to you tonight is a reutilization of a site that has always been commercial in nature, albeit in the residential. Testimony from AK Architecture, as well as the applicant. We're seeking site plan use and bulk variances. As again, what we feel here in terms of a general overview of the community, in terms of the supermarket use, it's an ideal use, we believe. The full-service food market will serve not only the residents in the immediate area, but the other small businesses. We'll be talking about the realignment of the building in terms of the redesign of the building, I should say. Paparazzi's report, so we made some modifications, which we're able to get in today. And my client is leasing this site from the current owner. It's a 10-year lease with a 10-year option. We don't have the final form of the lease as yet, and it will include, as I said, a 10-year option, but it will also reference the fact that the second lot, so that's where we are on that, and Anwar will testify in more detail about how that parking utilization occurs with the adjoining lot in that regard. I'd like to call Anwar at this time.
Yes, I do. Anwar Al-Khatib, A-N-W-A-R.
Would you state for the record your professional background and licensing?
Yes, I'm a registered architect in the state of New Jersey. I've been here for, I appeared in front of the zoning board in Paterson. I have an architectural degree and a sustainable degree in master design. And also, I've been registered for since 2000.
So if you would, are you ready? Yeah, okay. Anwar, so if you would, that's in response to some of the comments that Mr. Paparazzi made, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Could you give us an overview of the site based on your site plan, and also taking into account not only the existing conditions, what you're going to present in terms of change,
describing the original plans that were submitted on June 1st, 2021. And the site plan, which is the A01 sheet, was revised today, 11/30/2021, based on some comments from the planner. So basically, the revised sheet that you guys have right now has only 2 revisions.
Proposed modifications.
Okay, so the existing site is right now a single-story building, which is divided inside with warehouse slash. The building also has a second story within the same structure, is used as an office space, and also they have a couple of bathrooms and a small storage area. What we're trying to do here is trying to keep the existing building envelope as is. We're not basically doing any changes to the facade except enclosing the main garage door on the front of the property by Getty Avenue and providing a storage. At the same time, the existing site has a small portion of the adjacent property, which is lot number 8. And as per the owner, the function of the project will be. So I want to start with the first page, which is A01, the same drawings that you guys have. So we're showing the 2 zoning analysis, the R2 zone analysis, which includes multi-variances, including the use variance, and for the parking. Looking at the site, we access the main building from Getty Avenue. So I want to jump to the second page so we can explain the building a little bit more.
Now we're working with the second page of your original plan, correct?
Which is A02. An office space on the left inside the building, and a storage area on the back with a huge, big rolling up door. What we're trying to do is to keep the same layout of the building, except for the frontage, but racks centered to be above the storefront. As you see in A01, we have a driveway which is about 26.5 feet wide, and it's along the entire property, so it's 100 feet long. Our property is 75 feet wide, but as part of the lease, to my understanding, that the back portion of the property, which is about 33 feet wide by about 34, it's one unified paving area there. You can tell difference.
Right. The site, in other words, these lots are linked for the current use.
Correct,
already.
yeah.
Yeah.
And right now, if you go there, if you guys visit the site, you see like the trucks are parked in their location. So it's used, if you don't have that portion of the driveway.
Mr. Paparazzi's comments or?
So, yeah, one of the comments I think that's related to the parking, which is, I think you visit the site, you say there's no parking available there. Probably, we will take care of, restricting the parking. And at the same time, we're providing 1 handicap space. And this parking will be available after open hours, which is 9 o'clock. Before that, the space can be accessible for any trash pickup, for any recycle, for any work to be done on the site, because I know it's a lot of this kind of operations.
Of course, there is on-street parking. I think Mr. Paparazzi was referring also to the fact that there's a lot of use of on-street parking in the area, typically for residential and some commercial.
Correct. The area, it's literally like adjacent to the I2 zone. So
Area is a limited R2 area in a sense in comparison to the surrounding areas?
correct, yeah. If you look at it, even the existing zoning is like grabbing our property to keep it on R2 zone, but the rest of the block.
And
Is more
there's
R2.
also public transportation on Getty
Correct,
Avenue?
yes. Getty Avenue is a very busy street, and right now, most of the services are Uber, Lyft. So I think public transportation is suffering right now, too.
To some extent, sure.
Yeah.
But, or they're all available. Those new methods.
Right
of
now, the new
transportation-
methods are making the things easier for commuters.
Right.
Instead of like relying on waiting for the bus. So most of the services right now are being used for these private companies.
Right. All right, then, so in terms of the modification of the use, we had a very, obviously an intense auto repair business there, right?
Correct, yeah. So the existing use is not fitting at all in the R2. It's kind of like strange to the use, but our new retail food mart is more friendly to the residents. So I think the new use, even though it's not permitted, it's less impacting the neighborhood.
Right. Okay.
sheet 2 of 2, in the back where you propose the dumpsters, I'm assuming they would go out that side door, but you have a heat, right?
For the new proposed, we will change also to have central units, so we're not using these here anymore.
Okay. And you just testified to the fact that you have other products, I'm sure, bread products, you have dairy products. So they were all different deliveries. How are they going to be there from that small window? How can you guarantee that
So-
they're going to be in that window and park?
Before 9 o'clock in the morning, yeah. Most of the retail businesses are like they are early birds, so like 6 o'clock they start operating. So all these deliveries, I'm sure the owner will manage to have everything delivered on site before 9 o'clock, so he can have a successful business. Seen them how they are very early in the morning to do all deliveries.
We'll certainly have the applicant discuss it further with you.
Okay, but I also have been in Paterson a while, and what I see on these supermarkets and delis is double parking. But obviously, that would be my suggestion to be in the
Correct.
resolution if the board deemed to approve the application.
Right.
Correct.
We certainly abide by that.
But just want to, most of the deliveries that you see, they don't have this like
Best for the?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's all I have for the architect, Chairman. Thank you.
Any commissioners have questions? So,
This building, obviously, nothing's going to be done to the front of this building, correct?
except the storefront.
Well, change the doors and stuff like that. There's a light post there, right?
Yeah, any existing furniture on the street, it will remain. We're not moving anything from there.
Okay, so the front of the store is not going to be like a loading and unloading zone?
No.
It's not?
The front of the store not loading. The loading on the front back.
Okay.
Because we have a vestibule with automatic doors, so it's just only for the customers to go in and out. We're trying to...
And then, but the parking are still in the back of this building?
Correct, yes.
Are going to be in the back of this building?
Yes.
Okay. How wide is that driveway?
From building to building.
And the hours of operation of this building?
We'll have the applicant talk about that as well, but as per our...
That's fine, then we'll ask the applicant. Okay. I'm just concerned, usually when you have, front of the building, you have an unloading and unloading section.
Correct,
So,
yes.
people could park or whatever, or if something, deliveries and stuff like that happen.
Yeah.
But in this case, we will have a residential area, a more residential area than actually a...
Commissioner Rinaldi.
Questions on delivery. You said it will be in the morning. How early are you expecting the deliveries?
Maybe the owner can answer, but I'm expecting from 6 to 9.
And we would accept any limitation the board would put on that.
Okay, because it is a residential area.
Experience in the supermarket business, Anwar alluded to Main Street. He's also worked in the farmer's market area for many years, so he's very conscious of the importance of being a good neighbor, because many of those good neighbors are going to be his customers. So we will work and accept any conditions in that regard.
Yes. Comply with all code regulations about ventilation, sanitation for that particular location.
So that's going to be a gate, a lock gate that?
No, it's inside our building, so we've been closed, yes.
Dumpster, okay.
Any other commissioners? See, Mr. Mercado.
Thank you. We'll call the applicant.
Ahmad Abu Hadba. Yeah, spell it for you?
Yes.
Hammad. Last name is Abu.
Anwar is offered on your behalf.
Yes,
You're in full agreement with that testimony?
yes,
As well as my comments in opening to the board?
yes.
Okay, just by way of general background, could you explain your background in the food retail business?
I've been in the supermarket business. Yeah, in Paterson.
Where would that be?
I was on Main Street for about 12 years. I've been in the farmer's market for about 8 years right now.
Okay, and you see this building as a good opportunity to continue to operate your family business?
Yes,
And I say family business, and we talked about employees, The employees will primarily be family?
Yeah, family, my brothers and my sisters, my
So
kids,
about
my wife.
4 or 5, I think we indicated?
About 4.
All right, and with respect to this site, you understand that this approval, if it's granted, is subject to the lease of the property. You're going to be a tenant, right?
Yes,
And that lease which you've gotten entered into must include the adjoining lot that Anwar talked about
Yes.
to create the parking and access area, right?
yes. Parks, he has big rigs, like the Mack trucks, he parks them, he uses both slots.
So thankfully, we're getting rid of that auto use, right? Hopefully. That's a real plus in this application, we believe. Your hours
30, they're usually there.
is essentially why?
To establish a nice business, and the neighborhood definitely needs that market there.
Okay.
A lot of my clientele don't want to be,
Regardless of how this application turns out, that barbed wire has to be removed.
it's gone, considered done.
Okay. How many employees do you intend to have?
4 of us.
Okay. So that means the issue there is if you ever sell the deli or supermarket, if it's approved, there's no guarantee that all the employees will be in one car.
Well, we understand.
So that is a little concern. Also, you said that you thought it was something that the neighborhood,
Type of products or?
Products, I do fresh meats, fresh delis, fresh chicken, fish.
They're more quick service type
Yeah,
of business?
they're more like a bodega. This is more of like a food market, a mini supermarket.
some of the products that you got to be selling.
I'm sure there'll be some overlap, but his point is that he's going to have a more expanded property.
We do
product
a lot of the halal meats. None of these markets over there have the halal meats.
I mean, that's an important asset.
That's one of the biggest.
Commissioner Furman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know somebody asked a question before, but I didn't hear the answer. Do you reside in our city of Paterson? Do you live here?
No, I used to live here. I moved about 2.5 years ago.
Do you own any other type of
8 years.
a
And he
year?
testified earlier, 12 years on Main Street.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Baralt, what is the, on farmers markets, what is the name of your business?
Al Quds.
Oh, okay.
Al Quds.
I'm only saying because my brother owns a supermarket, Latino Produce.
Oh,
The
yeah,
same
Yeah, I know.
farmer has his own parkings and everything, even though it's a mess over there, you know, like on Saturdays, Fridays. So I don't know, you're saying that you'll be able to control all the influx of people at this family mini market?
Experience, because there's a clear need in this neighborhood for the product line he offers. And again, the experience is very, very key. And we're hopefully going to eliminate something that does not belong in the R2 for sure, which is the auto repair, absolutely. And the tradition of family-owned supermarkets in the city goes back more than 100 years. Every neighborhood that we grew up in has them.
One of those trailers that is gonna pull up to your place full of goodies?
No, we usually have vans. Usually our deliveries are all
Just
little vans.
small
Yeah,
vehicles,
yeah,
because that would
small-
present a big problem. That's all I
Good
have.
evening.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
2 to 3 deliveries.
Right, you do realize that there are 2 schools within a block and a half, and that's about the same time that they're going to be going into school.
Yes.
So that traffic is going to be escalated and a lot more because of that, those deliveries in those trucks, right? Because if you have 2 to 3 deliveries within that time window of an hour, at some point, there's an overlap because of the
Non-conforming use that's already there. The auto repair is extremely intense and would create much, much more of a problem in terms of any residential use in the area than our kind of business.
Mr. Maricondo, would you happen to know what the hours are of the auto repair place now?
Do not. I don't know if the applicant,
Hey, good evening. Will you be having like shopping carts that are coming out with some of the pedestrians or your patrons to go into the cars with?
Yeah, usually we have somebody that's always in the front area, like the grocery side. They help out the customers. If they're going out with a shopping cart, they help them to the car and bring it back. That's how we do it now in the location we're in the farmer's market.
Okay, so you have 4 people, you said, that will be working at this, at your business,
Yes.
your family members.
Yeah.
If they're inside tending to customers, how are they going to manage all that outside?
Well, there's always one roaming.
Under the parking,
Yeah,
if it gets out of hand?
yeah, definitely.
Well, you done? She's done. Commissioner Vega. Sir, what type of meat you said you were going to,
Halal meat.
halal meat?
Halal meat, yes.
Now, there's a store, Maine and Crooks, I think it is. I'm sorry, is it Crooks or Getty? No, it's not Getty. There's a truck that comes there, real big truck.
Yes,
Actually makes a lot of traffic.
yeah.
What type of truck is going to deliver your meats? Because that's a bigger place, your supermarket.
Yeah,
Vices.
well, those guys, or something like that, refrigerated van.
Okay. Like, listen, I understand you have more space than they do because that's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
The way they have that, that system there. That's just, this is the problem where, when they actually approve things like this that don't work
Yeah.
in the locations. My concern is more of your parking space for your customers.
Yes,
I don't see it working with the deliveries and also the parking. You do have 4 employees. Sometime, one day,
yeah.
or workers. But also, the size is that for 4 people, I just don't see how you guys going to manage such a big supermarket like that for 4 people.
We manage bigger than that, 4 or 5 people.
Okay.
We imagine bigger than that, honestly. And these days, we have a lot of curbside pickup. We do a lot of DoorDash. Right now, we have DoorDash in the Al Quds, in the farmer's market. A lot of it's DoorDash. We have a lot of curbside. They make the order, we send it right outside to the customer. So a lot of things are different now. It's not like, all these cars just sitting in your parking lot. O'clock, yeah.
Every day, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, thank you.
Any other commissioners? Okay, Mr. Maricondo.
Consider this project in a favorable light. Obviously, he's been a lifelong businessman in the city of Paterson. He's got a proven track record in this field of maintaining and managing and successfully serving our community in that regard. This is an opportunity to really stand out at a particular area which we believe is residential in nature in terms of the arbitration for a motion for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. There are positive and negative criteria in this application as I see it. The positive criteria is going from an auto repair to a supermarket, 19 parking spaces in an area where there is no parking, and 2 schools, one for drop-off for children and also as pickup. So I will leave that to approve the application. I'm going to suggest a few conditions. 1, obviously, the barbed wire fence has to be removed. 2, the applicant provides a 10-year lease to council prior to any resolution being approved. And 3, that is all I have, Chairman. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, could I just interject one other quick comment, not directly in response to Gary's report in summary, but we really feel strongly this is going to serve the neighborhood on a walk-in basis to a great extent, which is the strong tradition that we see in our city every day. Thank you.
At this point,
Chairman Check.
excuse me for 1 second. Excuse me. Is anyone in the public?
Mike Jackson, resident City of Paterson. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Not going to directly, I do have a question for Mr. Paparazzi. You made comments or suggestions of a few allocations that you would suggest that the applicant make. Now, we see this happen all the time. There's the applications that are presented. There are promises that are made.
I understand what you're saying about there's no way to police that because obviously it would just be too hard for the city
So
to
case in
police.
point,
Yes.
13 and a half Van Houten was approved by this board. And that address or that applicant had submitted in their application that they were going to provide waste removal, garbage compaction, and so on and so forth, which is never provided. That's something that needs to be revisited now. And a shortage of 19 parking spaces in the city. I mean, I really don't want to speak one way or another about this application because I are holding the ability or capacity to make sure that the city isn't overtaken with these conditions. And I'm just sitting here just kind of dumbfounded on how it seems as if these application over and over again are being approved with these shortages, and it's heavily negatively impacting our community. So I'm gonna just leave that there. I don't know all the details of this application to that extent, but I do know the conditions of our community. Big statement. I'm going to make sure that goes on record, Mr. Paparazzi, as a representation of this board. That we hold that's held to a standard, because that's a problem, an ongoing problem that's happening all around. Should be fulfilled. You should not, 3-4 years later, they're allowed to step away from, the conditions that are set forth. So I'll leave that there.
Councilman Jackson.
When there is a situation where the provisions that set forward in these agreement that you're drafting are not adhered to.
The attorney drafts it.
Okay,
It's in the
I
resolution.
apologize.
Yes. Right.
My question was directly that had to do with the approval. So I asked, what is the recourse? Is there an opportunity for?
Commissioners, can I have a motion, please?
Commissioner Baralta, I propose to approve the project if we follow the regulations, the conditions that Mr. Paparazzi is proposing about the barbed wire being removed, the 10-year lease.
Read into the record that Mr. Commissioner Barat makes a motion that the application of Al Amana Food Market LLC concerning the premises at 375 not permitted in the R2 zone. The applicant also proposes to construct on a 7,500 square foot lot or to accommodate a supermarket on the first floor with office space and storage on the second. The applicant proposes 5 parking spaces, whereas 24 spaces are required. This city engineer, State County Planning Board, State County Engineer, HB Soil Conservation District, and the building codes of the state of New Jersey. He so moves.
I'm going to second that motion. Commissioner Vega seconding that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Vega. Chairman Thaxton?
Madam Secretary, could you?
Thank you. Commissioners, Commissioner Barat. I'll come back to you. Commissioner Minauro. One minute to collect themselves, and Chairman Thaxton, I'll come back to everyone. You have 30 seconds. And we will continue. Your vote, sir?
Yes.
What is your vote?
Thank you, Madam Secretary. For the record, can I please make a comment?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'd like to see, please, take consideration for the people that live around and try your best not to create a chaos with the parking. I give you my trust because it seems to be that you know the business.
I'd also have something to go on the record, please. Thank you, Madam Secretary. I'd like to say that my vote is considering the children, the school, the community, and it has nothing to do with the owner, and I just want that to be known because
I concur with Commissioner Ronaldo. There's a lack of parking. We are facing a lot of issues. I drive down Getty. I've been down Main Street. I go to the farmer's market. I know that area very well. Again, would it be better, easier, and other issues? So unfortunately, my vote is no.
I think I voted second on yes. And of course, with the provisions set forth by our planner, I hope I'm making the right decision here. I know the parking is an issue, but let's see what happens.
Application of Al Amanah Food Market LLC, 375, 377 Getty Avenue, has been denied. Thank you.
Thank you for consideration.